In the headlines, police launches investigation into alleged killing of infant in Gombe State University. Commander Operation Safe Haven meets Southern Kaduna stakeholders over Kaduna church attack. Erratic rainfall worries farmers as harvest season sets in. On the foreign scene, Tanzania's opposition leader released after weekend arrest. Hello there, good afternoon and welcome to the news update on Trust TV. I'm Abdullahi Ahmed. We begin in Gombe as the Nigeria police is investigating the death of an infant by a student of the Gombe State University. The suspect, a female student of the university, was arrested by security guards of the institution for allegedly throwing the day-old baby from a story building after giving birth at a student hostel. Ibrahim Ismail has the details.
This viral video captured the moment when authorities of Gombe State University arrested the female student who allegedly threw a day-old baby from a 3-story building at the institution. The lady was said to have given birth to the child out of marriage. Gombe State Police Command is investigating the matter.
We are sad. It's not a good case to investigate. We don't want it to happen. And that is why the Commissioner of Police, because he's a father, he has daughters, he has children as well. So if anything of such happen, so people are there looking for children, begging God, always praying for God to give them. We are investigating to find out what transpired and what happens from the first place that gets to that leads to this happening that we're talking about.
The police also urge institutions to report incidences immediately for timely intervention. The command called on parents and guardians to monitor activities of their wards.
They should endeavor to involve the police. They should inform us on time so that we can be able to do our investigation together with them. Without their cooperation, we may not be able to do anything about it, or we are not going to have what we require to commence investigation.
As it stands, details of the incident is still sketchy, but police authorities have promised to provide more information as soon as investigations are concluded. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Gombe.
7 persons have died following a violent clash on Monday afternoon between Tiv and Yache people of Yala local government area of Cross River State. 10 persons, according to reports, have sustained machete cuts and are currently receiving medical attention. At least 15 mud houses were also set ablaze in the reprisal attack between the youths from both sides. There have been several skirmishes over boundary matters for several years, leading to violent clashes between the two communities. A community leader in Yache, Augustine Ode Adula, says they were in a church service when the pandemonium ensued. Adula says the Tiv people have been paying royalties on the land but have decided to stop the payments recently. Secretary of Yala and Cross River North Elders Forum, Leonard Anyogo, described the development as unfortunate. It is disclosed that the deputy governors of both rivers, Cross River and Benue State, had earlier met in the same community where they appealed for peace. Police spokesperson in Cross River State, Irene Ugbo, says an official report about the incident has not been received, but that the command will hold a security meeting shortly to ascertain the situation. Still talking security, the Commander Operation Safe Haven and General Officer Commanding Division 3 of the Nigerian Army, Major General Abdulsalam Abubakar, has vowed to deal with criminals perpetrating attacks in southern Kaduna State. The commander said this during an engagement with key stakeholders from 5 local government areas of the state covered by Operation Safe Haven in Zangon Kataf. The meeting came 3 days after a Catholic Church parish house in Kamantang in Zangon Kataf local government area of the state was set ablaze and a seminarian killed in an attack by gunmen. General Abdulsalam had during the meeting noted that the recurring isolated killings, destruction of farms, cow poisoning, cattle rustling, kidnappings and other sundry criminal activities must come to an end with immediate effect, warned that those perpetrating insecurity for their selfish gains must embrace peace and find lawful means of livelihood or face the consequences of their evil motives. Now, speaking at the meeting, including the representatives of the Atiap, Fulani Hausa, Ikuru, Christian Association of Nigeria, as well as the Jamaatul Nasr Islam, traditional and religious leaders pledged to support the strategies of Operation Safe Haven in bringing an end to the attacks on individuals and communities in the area. Elsewhere, the police in Adamawa State has arrested 4 suspected Shila boys and recovered a tricycle as well as knife, among other weapons. A statement by the Public Relations Officer of the State Command, SP Suleiman Yahya Guroje, says that all suspects are indigents of Yola North local government area and were arrested on 10th of September 2023. He explained that a combined team of police and members of the local security support group nabbed the suspects after robbing some residents of Demsao and Nasarawa wards respectively. He attributed the success to another operational strategy introduced by the Commissioner of Police in the state, Afolabi Babatola, designed to checkmate Shila gangsterism. Suleiman Yahya Guroje assured that the suspects will be prosecuted in accordance with extant laws. 2 persons were killed while 6 others were abducted at the weekend when bandits invaded Kwarkwarasa village in Mayama local government area of Kebbi State. The bandits invaded the community in the early hours of Saturday to carry out the attack. The state governor Nasir Idris visited the community and assured them that the government has put measures in place to avert the recurrence of such incidents. He said his administration has given the security agencies all the necessary support and cooperation towards combating the criminality across the state. He said they will leave no stone unturned until they secure the state and will make it a place where people can sleep with both eyes closed and have the ability to cultivate their farmlands and go about their normal businesses without any fear. The Northeast Governors Forum has raised the alarm that bandits operating in northwest Nigeria are expanding their activities to the insurgency-ravaged Northeast region. The forum made the pronouncement during the 8th Northeast Governors Forum meeting held in Maiduguri, Borno State. The governors, in a communique, called on the federal government to address the worsening insecurity in the region. The forum also noted that illegal mining activities in northeastern state is constituting a threat to the security of the region, highlighting its violation of the Land Use Act. Speaking on the resolution of the forum, Adamawa State Governor Umaru Finchi says the forum wants the federal government to address perennial flooding, climate change and deforestation in the northeast region.
The forum is aware that some traditional rulers and other local authorities are conniving with the bandits, giving them shelter and cover to commit crimes within the sub-region. The forum unanimously resolved to decisively deal with any traditional ruler or community leader that is found to be harboring or conniving with the bandits. The forum noted with dismay the seeming neglect of roads and railway infrastructure, especially along the economic corridors that links the northeast sub-region to the rest of the country. The roads from Enugu to Maiduguri is in deplorable state. Equally worse is the railway from Enugu up to Maiduguri, which has been destroyed. The forum is calling on the federal government to look into the situation and consider the reconstruction of this basic infrastructure along Enugu-Maiduguri economic corridor.
Staying in the northeast, a water vendor in Bauchi State has lost 2 children to malaria due to an inability to afford medical bills, highlighting an increasing concern over Nigeria's living condition crisis. Malaria is responsible for the deaths of hundreds of thousands of children in Nigeria and remains a public health concern. Adamu Imam reports from Bauchi.
Umar Mohammed said poverty and his inability to treat malaria infection for his children due to the economic hardship may be the reason of the death of his 2 sons. Mohammed explained that he is a water vendor for over a decade within Turun Gidadubu community, but he couldn't afford medical expenses after the children were diagnosed with malaria and other diseases. Mohammed, aged 42, is married to Hawa'u and with 5 children, and is now left with 3. He is living temporarily in an uncompleted building.
duka sai suka haɗu wuri ɗaya. To muka je asibiti mun je muka dawo abun bai yi ba. To ba na abinci. Ba na abinci balle na asibiti. To shine sai suka ce to
The first son was ill and the younger one also ill too at the same time. So we went to a hospital, no result yet. And so we came back home. No money to go back, no money for food, regardless of the time. We went back again, just like that, and they refer us to a specialist hospital, and that was in the night. So they all died. Now their younger sister too is ill, and she's recovering now.
Pneumonia suka ce shi ne suka masa alluran duk numfashin bai tsaya ba sai suka ce to mu je babban asibiti.
Before the doctor even said this was another disease in addition to malaria. But despite all, they made an attempt to rescue them. But they couldn't hold. They gave up around 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. respectively. His neighbor Zaharaddin Abdul Malik says the government should try and fix the country because many people are dying because of hunger and starvation.
This malaria issue is a very, very important issue. And they are almost spending money in this HIV. The malaria is killing people and a lot of things is happening and people don't understand. The primary health care knows 80% of the problem in the hospital is malaria. Pregnant women with malaria, small child with malaria, the elderly with malaria, and the medicines maybe are expensive for some people, but at least the hardship is not easy.
He said that it is time for a well-meaning Nigerians should come to the rescue of the poor to complement the little the government is doing for the common man. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
The Nigerian Medical Association says its findings shows that Noah Kekere, who is a suspect and arrested for allegedly removing a woman's kidney in Jos Plateau State, is not a registered medical doctor. The Jos-based businessman Kamal Busari had accused Dr. Kekere of removing his wife's kidney without his knowledge. Now, the victim, Kehinde Kamal, in an interview with Daily Trust, says her kidney was discovered missing at the Jos University Teaching Hospital following a complaint of abdominal pain. The police say they had launched an investigation into the matter, and the chairman of the Plateau State chapter of the Nigerian Medical Association, Dr. Bapigan William Audu, says records at their secretariat shows that the suspect is neither a medical doctor nor is he a member of the NMA. He stated this in a telephone interview with Daily Trust Sunday. Well, you're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up ahead, we take a look at erratic rainfall and how it is concerning to Gombe farmers ahead of this season's harvest. Details coming up ahead after the break. Welcome back and thank you very much for staying with us on the news. Here's a quick recap of our top stories at this hour. The police has launched an investigation into the alleged killing of an infant at the Gombe State University. Commander Operation Safe Haven meets Southern Kaduna stakeholders over recent church attack. Moving on to some of the day's other news, Delta State Governor Sharif Oborivori has filed a notice of appeal at the Supreme Court against the judgment of the Court of Appeal Abuja, which ordered the Delta State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal to hear on merit the petition filed by the candidate of the Labour Party in the last election, Ken Pella, challenging his election as governor. Oborivori, in the notice of appeal filed by his lead counsel, Damien Dodo, SAN, listed 3 grounds upon which he would argue that the appellate court erred in making an order for a retrial in the Labour Party's petition. A 3-man panel of the Court of Appeal, led by Justice Lawal Shuaibu, had, in a judgment delivered on 31st of August, faulted the decision of the tribunal to dismiss the case of the petitioners on claims that the petition was abandoned because the petitioner's application for pre-hearing session was not properly filed. Subsequently, the appellate court ordered that the petition be taken back to the tribunal for hearing within the time stipulated in the Electoral Act. Dissatisfied by the decision of the appellate court, the governor has now filed a notice of appeal at the Supreme Court, where he is seeking an order of the court allowing the Court of Appeal. He also asked the court to set aside the judgment of the appeal court delivered on August 31st and affirm the decision of the tribunal delivered on July 6th. In Gombe, farmers are expressing concern over this season's erratic rainfall, which may affect the outcome of their yields. The farmers say the situation is disheartening considering how close the harvest period is for most crops. Gombe has been without rainfall for the past 10 days. Ibrahim Ismail took a tour around some of the farms and now reports.
These little beans plants in their developing stage need water to grow. The last rain dropped 10 days ago, and since then the plants are becoming yellowish and thirsty. Erratic rainfall has affected maize and millet, which required water this period. The land has dried up. Removing the grass has been very difficult. It could have been easier if it rains, and I will finish in just a day. The plants need water at this time. They are not ripe yet. This is our biggest challenge.
The
farmers who are optimistic of getting a bumper harvest urge Nigerians to pray for God's intervention. We praise God for the good condition of our farms. Although there is a decline in the rainfall, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. Experts have linked erratic rainfall to the effect of climate change, a global crisis that inflicts injury on Mother Earth. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Gombe.
The Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria has said it is impossible for price of petrol to go as low as 200 naira per litre, even the refineries across the country are revamped and back in operation. Now, the association noted this following a report published recently where the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria says petrol price could crash below 200 naira per litre if the refineries become functional again. The Chief Executive Officer and former Chairman of the Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria, Tunji Oyebanji, in an interview says exchange rate of the dollar is still affecting petrol price. He also says price of crude oil at the international market had been on a rise due to high demand and cuts by the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC. The Chairman, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria River State Chapter, Joseph Obele, had advised the federal government to ensure that the nation's refineries were fixed as planned. Now to developments on the international scene. One of Tanzania's main opposition leaders and former presidential candidate, Tundu Lissu, has been released on bail hours after he was arrested by police for allegedly holding an illegal gathering. Lissu is the vice chairman of Tanzania's largest opposition party, Chadema, and was arrested from a hotel along with other party leaders in northern Tanzania's Arusha region on Sunday and released later that evening, Lissu's party wrote on social media platform X. Lissu had been holding political rallies across the country since returning from exile in January, criticizing President Samia Suluhu Hassan's administration after his human rights record and his handling of a controversial ports management deal. Police say on Sunday that Lissu and 3 other people were detained for questioning about accusations they were holding an unlawful assembly and preventing police from doing their job. In sports, Novak Djokovic defeated Daniil Medvedev in straight sets on Sunday to win his 4th US Open and a record-equaling 24th Grand Slam singles title, avenging his loss to the Russian 2 years ago. The 36-year-old Djokovic won 6-3, 7-6, 6-3 to become the oldest men's champion in New York in the Open era and match Margaret Court's all-time mark for most Grand Slam victories. The Serbian is the first man to win 3 Grand Slam events in the same season 4 times, growing his impending return to world #1 in the most fitting way inside Arthur Ashe Stadium. Medvedev defeated Djokovic in straight sets in the 2021 final to prevent the Serbian from becoming the first man to win all 4 Grand Slams in the same year since Rod Laver in 1969. The pair traded holes largely untroubled until Djokovic again put pressure on Medvedev as the 3rd seed served down 2-5. Well, that's it. You're up to date with the latest news stories at this hour. Feel free to, as always, follow us across our social media platform for more content and visit trusttv.com for more news. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. Thank you for watching.